Looking at a single company's financial numbers is kind of like trying to understand a whole story from just one word. It's impossible, right? You've got no context, no plot, no characters. Well, today, we're going to build that context. So let me ask you this. A company comes out and says, we made a 10% profit. So is that good? Is it bad? I bet your first thought is, yeah, 10%. Sounds pretty decent. But the real answer, you have absolutely no idea. And I'm going to show you exactly why.
Okay, now watch this. Let's add just one little piece of information. Let's say your main competitor, competitor A, only made a 5% profit margin. Boom! Suddenly, your 10% doesn't just look good, it looks incredible. You're literally twice as profitable as the other guys.
But hang on, let's flip the script. What if your main rival was actually competitor B, and they just posted a 20% profit margin? Oof! How's that 10% looking now? Pretty terrible, right? All of a sudden, you're getting left in the dust. The number, your 10%, didn't change at all, but its meaning completely changed.
This really powerful idea actually has a name. It's called benchmarking. It's just the process of comparing a company's numbers to its peers to see how it truly stacks up. So here's the key takeaway. A financial number all by itself tells you absolutely nothing. Its real power only comes from comparison.
So how do we actually do this? Well, we're going to build a really simple three-part toolkit. Think of yourself as a financial detective. And our first question, as you can see, is the most obvious one. Who's actually earning more profit?
Let's put on our detective hats. Our first line of questioning is simple. After all the sales are done, which company is actually better at holding on to that cash? Who's pocketing more of every rupee they bring in?
And for this job, we've got two main tools. First, there's gross margin. That tells us who's more efficient at just making their stuff. But the big one, the one that tells the whole story, is the net profit margin. This is what's left after every single bill is paid. Salaries, rent, taxes, the whole shebang. It's the real bottom line.
And this example with Coke and Pepsi makes it crystal clear. Let's say Coke has a net profit margin of 25%, while Pepsi's is at 15%. What does that really mean? It means for every 100 rupees in sales, Coke gets to keep a whopping 25. Pepsi? They only keep 15. In this head-to-head, Coke is the clear winner on profitability.
Okay, detective. Clue number one is in the bag. We followed the money. Now it's time to move on to our second question. Whose business is safer? See, making a profit is great, but it's not everything. A company can be profitable one minute and gone the next if its foundation is shaky. So our next question is all about survival. Who is built to withstand a storm?
And for this, we look at two critical things. First, the debt-to-equity ratio. Now, don't let the fancy name scare you. It just asks a simple question. How much money has the company borrowed versus how much its owners have put in? Less debt is almost always safer. And second, their cash position. Just think of this as the company's emergency fund.
I mean, the logic here is a no-brainer. If company A has 0 loans and company B is carrying a ton of debt, who do you think is in a safer spot if the economy gets rough? It's company A, every single time. It's just fundamentally a more stable business.
All right, we've checked for profits and we've checked for safety. It's time for the final piece of our investigation. The third question we need to ask is, who is better at just running their business? Who's better at operations?
This one is all about efficiency. It's not just about what you have, it's about how well you use it. Which company is smarter and faster at turning all their stuff, their money, their factories, their inventory, into actual sales? So our last two detective tools help us figure this out. Asset turnover tells us who generates more sales from the things they own. But inventory turnover is even more straightforward. It basically measures how quickly a company sells all the products sitting in its warehouse. And trust me, in business, speed is money.
Let's look at a classic real-world battle of inventory speed. First up, the master of logistics, Amazon.
On average, it takes Amazon just 15 days to sell through its entire stock of inventory. I mean, think about that. Everything in those massive warehouses is sold and replaced twice a month. That is just lightning fast.
Now, let's bring in their legendary competitor for a little benchmarking, Walmart.
Walmart takes about 30 days. Now, don't get me wrong, that is still incredibly fast for a company of that size. But the comparison tells the whole story, doesn't it? In this one metric, Amazon is operating at twice the speed, turning its products into cash twice as fast. That is a massive competitive advantage. So, let's pull all these clues together. In just a few minutes, you've actually built yourself a really powerful framework for analyzing any company. This is it. This is your financial toolkit.
So if you remember one thing, remember this simple 3-step toolkit. The next time you want to compare any two companies, just ask these questions. 1. Profitability. Who makes more money? 2. Stability. Who is safer? And 3. Efficiency. Who works smarter?
And this all brings us back to that one central idea. Never, ever look at a number all by itself. It's just a word without a story. Its real meaning, its true power, only comes to life when you put it next to a competitor. Comparison is everything.
So the next time you see a headline about a company's profits, you won't just see a number, you'll see the first clue in a much bigger investigation. And you'll have the right questions to ask. So that leads me to my final question for you. Now that you have this toolkit, how are you going to look at companies differently?
Disclaimer. Educational content only. Not SEBI registered. This is not a buy/sell recommendation. Invest at your own risk.